No. Let it go until the very end.
No.
That would be me. I'll
Good night,
kill him.
everybody. That's where we can find you.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Anyway, the thing.
Say, what are you doing with your hands down there?
What game was he playing?
I don't know.
Oh, if you only knew. Anyways, so that's okay because Ross, we'll see. We see you. I think he got the ping. We'll see. Maybe. Is he
No,
going back
he
to his
picked up
game?
his control. Oh, wait. Come back. Hey, Ross. Welcome back.
So, how was your masturbating?
Oh, I forgot to mention when Luke showed up and he stabbed Mandy.
Shut up,
Oh, crap.
George.
Yeah, that Luke cameo was awesome.
Yeah. No, we're getting ready to now talk, Ross, about other subjects. So glad you're back. We had an entertaining time watching you play your game, by the way. So did the audience. We'll talk about this later.
I see it took my Pornhub suggestion seriously.
I was trying to calm the fetus that was mounted to my chest.
No, we went on screen. You were doing this thing, and we were like,
That's
all
exactly what I was
funny.
doing. My character has a fetus mounted on his chest.
What the hell are you
trying to
doing?
calm him down.
Okay.
What are you, Quado from Total Recall?
It's called Death Stranding.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that game. Okay.
Okay. You're weird.
All righty.
And
Carlos, what the heck is going on with Star Trek today as far as this timeline thing that's causing people to go, what is going on?
Oh, okay. You want to talk that first?
boy.
Let's do that
before
first. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so this was, and you all know I love Ketwalski, love him a lot, but I saw his thing showed up in my feed, his video today in which he was discombobulating over the timeline video that was released on StarTrek.com today that, shows where all the series fall in this line and the movie. The JJ verse movies, sorry, Kelvin verse movies, where they fall along a timeline, and missing from that timeline were Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard, and he went off on this thing. And it's like, are they decanonizing Discovery? Are they decanonizing Picard? And he did a whole video about how terrible this would be. And I was like. And that wasn't just him. There were all kinds of people who were the same thing.
I know where he got the idea from.
Please don't say Doomcock.
No. Come on, have a little respect for the guy. No,
I will, because Ketwalski knows better than that.
But no, we both follow another Star Trek YouTuber named Lore Reloaded,
Which is part of, yeah.
And that's the conclusion that he jumped to. And
yeah,
I think
it's just a dumb conclusion. I'm sorry. I respect him, but it's just a little too fevered with too little information.
Right.
Because why would they decanonize it? And why would they do it on a post in StarTrek.com, which is not always like the most accurate website. Right. So there's no secret message here.
There is very clearly.
This timeline is very clearly about the shows that have been completed and the movies that have been completed. That's what it is. They follow it up at the end with a to be continued, which means there will be more coming. But people skipped over that for some reason.
I
didn't mean to talk over you, Ross. What
if they were going to decanonize Discovery and make the alternate universes of Star Trek their own separate videos, why would they include the Kelvin stuff in the first place?
Right.
So
exactly.
Okay, so
because that is its own timeline.
We were talking about this before the show, and I want to point something out here. That which is it, haters? Is it the fact that CBS owns Star Trek and decides what canon is, or they don't get to decide what canon is? Because that has been their argument since Discovery started. That no matter what CBS says, it's not canon. So now that according to this, they're saying that it's not canon, now we have to believe them. So which is it?
Animated series is canon. It's on the timeline.
It's on the timeline. So yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, the thing is,
this is wrong on so many levels.
The animated series?
Yeah, I'm an animated series fan first. I have gotten it firsthand from the people who count that no, it is not canon. Okay, so this is again an example of
4 or 5 episodes are canon.
It's not a matter. No, it's things in the episodes that are canon. It's not the episodes themselves that are canon.
Except for yesteryear.
The events that happened yesteryear are many of them.
Beyond the Farthest Star.
They're trying to prep themselves for these 2 animated ones coming up for the short treks.
Kirk is a jerk is not canon.
Oh my
Well,
God.
it's in the tradition of all Star Trek, they will ignore what they want to ignore.
Oh, of course.
The slaver weapon, while fun, is most certainly not canon.
Oh man,
The Kazinti they only had rights to
episode.
them in the animated series.
Yeah,
and
because
that was it.
Larry Gibbon and
Niven, yeah.
Gene Gibbon and Gene had a special relationship or whatever.
Oh man, and I still can't get over that episode. Is that the slaver one? No. Yeah, no. Is it? What's the one where they're all there's like a team of all of them, they're trying to get this and they got the winged people in it.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that was Jihad.
Jihad, yes.
That was so much fun.
Yeah,
that was before
The
most
score!
Americans knew what jihad meant.
right, exactly.
Probably.
And is that the most sexually aggressive woman ever in Star Trek history, or am I crazy? I mean, she came right out and said, "I want to bang you, Kirk." I mean, she was not shy.
We like
about
somebody, I say so.
I'm
saying
the
so.
70s. I just want to point out it was the 70s.
Damn.
Well, no, she's not the most sexually aggressive woman in Star Trek. Loaxana.
Loxana Troy, yes.
Good call. Yeah.
Loaxana? That's an interesting way to pronounce it. But anyways,
Emphasis, man. Come on.
I know.
Dramatic emphasis.
I got it at the last second.
So anyway, I just think this is much ado about nothing. This whole time
Nothing.
the issue.
Nothing.
If
It's an
they were going to
overreaction.
decanonize anything, it would be a much bigger thing than a video on StarTrek.com.
Can I remind you people that my kid was just in a vid. 2 of my kids were just in a video on StarTrek.com, and they are not canon to the franchise. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they
But
should be.
as entertaining as they are, and they should be. They're
Wait,
not.
because
so
5
Webster's
years
not.
ago, this timeline would have looked different. 5 years from now, it will look different again. So to impart to this particular chart this sort of everlasting canon significance is just ignores the fact that this is a growing, evolving, changing universe franchise, and this is a slice in time, and this is the slice in time in which Picard and Discovery are not yet complete. So you can't put them on a started here, ended here, like you can with every other series and film.
They're answering their own questions.
I have
they're
spoken.
talking about all the stuff that isn't on there, that Discovery wasn't on there, that Picard wasn't on there, Lower Decks, Nickelodeon show. Everyone keeps bringing up that these things aren't on the list. No shit.
Because we haven't seen them yet.
Right.
Common sense.
Yeah, but
Doesn't apply.
they're freaking out. And
Not so much common sense, just a misunderstanding and an
Yeah.
overreaction.
Yeah, an overreaction, let's be clear, because it was to leap from wait, they're not there to they've decanonized is just that's a huge leap. It's a huge leap. So in Kowalski and I traded a couple of comments on his YouTube page for this video, and I basically said what I said here, and I think he had calmed down by later in the day, because he was like, well, yeah, it was at the very least it was a misstep on CBS's part, and I'm willing to concede that. I think that
I think it was.
I was telling George, and this is look, people have this feeling, have this idea that there's one guy doing all this, okay? There isn't. They have teams of people that handle the marketing for the franchise, and it's when, for example, when the Picard trailer dropped, and then I had to
Tell this story. You told me that earlier.
Yeah, when it dropped, and when he had to remember when it got pulled,
Yep.
like instantly, because it dropped too early, and they pulled it from YouTube like minutes later.
Mhm.
Well, my theory on that was that was just some some viral marketing right there, and that was done on purpose. I came to find out from talking from somebody at CBS that no, that was just a mistake.
It was just a mistake.
Sometimes
a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah, somebody got a little angry. The exact words were, somebody got a little eager on the trigger.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing with most conspiracy theories. Never attribute to conspiracy what you can contribute to incompetence. I mean,
right? It's
much more likely that someone messed up than it is that they are, that somebody's pulling these strings, and we're going to put a little bit over in StarTrek.com, and we're going to put a little bit on YouTube, and we're going to put a little bit, in John Van Sitter's interview on.
You need to do voice acting, Carlos.
Anyway,
yeah,
my point
because he actually right now he sounds an awful lot like Hulk Hogan, but whispering, a whispering Hulk Hogan.
I am spoken
there.
Yes.
Let's jump to a fun subject. Let's talk about the new Trek that actually came out, which is called Ask Not, a new short Trek.
Yes, and it was super short, like super short.
Was it shorter?
It was 8 minutes.
Short Trek.
I mean, that's a short Trek, all right.
Yeah.
And that's a short Trek.
Super short. It worked, though. I mean, it was trying to do one thing, and it did that one thing well.
You had one job.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing, first of all, Lieutenant, what is it? Sidhu? Was that her name? Sidhu?
Yeah, because people are making that joke.
Oh,
The
right.
Kobayashi.
Cadet.
Right, the Kobayashi Sidhu they're joking about is a,
Yeah,
well, this reminded me more of the... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you're probably going to say the same thing I was. That one episode where Wesley.
Next Generation, yes. That's exactly where I was going.
And they show like how much of a mind fuck applying to Starfleet Academy is, and it's like if that, where were these people who were going like that's a terrible thing to do,
right?
30 years ago when Next Generation was on, and they pulled that kind of stuff. I mean, this is exactly in line with that, and this was someone who was in line to get a very important job on the. It wasn't technically the Federation flagship, but it kind of was in spirit, if not in letter.
I think they did say it was. Didn't Cornwall say it was?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not.
Enterprise never mentioned in this timeline as flagship yet. No.
Oh, okay. I thought Cornwall had said that, but you're probably right.
But it certainly was the most respected of the Constitution classes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not surprising to me that they would pull something like this. And this actress, by the way, I thought she was spot on. I mean, to stand up to, Christopher Pike and like stand her ground, like even with pointing a phaser that, as far as she knows, that is an activated phaser. And that little bit at the end where they're like, was that an activated phaser? And he just kind of winks at her and walks away. I love that.
I don't know why they'd be worried about if it was set on stun no matter what.
It was set on stun. It was blue. I looked at it the whole time. Yes, it was stun.
You nerd. Of course it would be on stun. Why would kill him?
So why would it be such a big deal anyway?
So who gives a shit if it's set on stun?
Cops have to tase them, get tased and maced in police academy. So I mean,
God,
I've been maced. It's no fun.
Are you really comparing Star Trek and Christopher Pike to Police Academy?
Yeah,
really,
no.
George?
In the sense that they have to be willing in training exercises to take a stun shot.
Oh, I thought you meant
if it was a kill shot. If it was a kill shot, not the movies. No.
I thought you meant Steve Gutenberg. I thought we had
no.
Oh, you're talking about real Police Academy.
Real Police Academy, not the movies.
Yeah. Okay,
then I take it back, George.
No, I'm talking about the willingness that they have to be prepared.
We got you.
To take a stun shot, and that's why was she so concerned about that? If it was a stun setting, I mean,
because Bobcat Goldthwait was around the fucking corner. That's why.
Ah, okay.
It's a big deal to shoot like the best captain in Starfleet. It's a big deal, even if it's stun. Okay.
There you go.
But anyway, my point is that all these people who are complaining about how heartless Starfleet must be are missing the point completely, which is, in times of war, you have to be able to do certain things. We have to be, and frankly, the Enterprise and the Discovery could use more people like that because,
Pike
we see things like Saru disobeying orders again and again and again. And it's like, no, be like Sidhu.
Burnham failed that test.
Yeah.
Go.
What's
We're getting a police.
Who's playing the police academy?
Oh, Please, what? Do not sully this podcast with that crap.
Okay, the first one was awesome.
Okay,
But anyways.
so- but what I wanted to point out about this, what caught my attention was like the holy shit moment was like, oh no, your husband's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, that's right. He basically said your husband's about to die.
Yeah.
You know what I found interesting is that we know that Riker's mom died during a Tholian attack on a starbase, and now we have another starbase that was been attacked by the Tholians. The Tholians like to attack
Only
starbases.
hypothetically.
Oh, that's right. Hypothetically, that's true. It wasn't an actual attack. You're right. I forgot about
It
that.
is pretty cool though that they are referencing the Tholians.
Yeah.
Well,
The
you
Tholians
know,
are-
Because in Hidden Frontier we made the Tholians like a big deal.
You did. Yes,
And
you did.
So I'm glad to see that the Tholians are getting their due now in real Star Trek.
They've
Well,
always been a
what's
nebulous.
interesting about this, hold on, let me just say it real quick
Go ahead.
before I forget. What's interesting about this is that, you know, the fallback for that is always the Klingons. It's
Yeah.
nice to not have the Klingons always be there. Throw in the
Yes.
Tholians.
I'm so sick of Klingons. I mean,
Me
I like Klingons,
too.
but it's
No,
just
you're right. It's like they're like lightsabers, Carlos. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
exactly, and
this
that's
thing-
frankly one of the things I'm excited about Picard is about. It's that
Yeah.
it's focusing
Romulans,
so
yeah.
much on Romulans.
And the Borg.
Yeah,
and
it's Klingon free.
You know, I don't remember if I
I don't
told
know
you
about
guys this,
Klingon
but
free, but
you know, I
Well,
was I did the adaptation of Blood and Fire from David
That's
Gerald's
right.
original script in treatment for the Next Generation, and I adapted it for the original series characters for Star Trek New Voyages, and one of the first things I did was I made the villains in it Romulan instead of Klingons. For that reason, it was like, oh, I'm just so sick of Klingons. And because of some of the themes I was, that I wanted to introduce, and it made more sense for the Klingons to be the villains in it.
Yeah.
David liked the adaptation. What I did, with what Worf's lines and who I gave them to and stuff like that. But one of the first things he did, one of the first notes he made and did was to change it back to Klingons because he has a hard-on for Klingons. He told me so himself. I mean, but I was like, oh, please, why not Romulans? But anyway,
I think the biggest
it's endemic
problem-
to Star Trek.
Right, and I think the biggest reason that is, first of all, if I recall correctly, I think the Klingons showed up a total of 3 times in the original series. That was it, something like that. Very few appearances. They were just made out to be the big baddie. And for the new Next Generation, the message was that we have overcome our hostilities with our biggest enemy, much like we were overcoming our hostilities with the Russians, the Soviet Union, our biggest enemy at that time. We were working towards that goal of peace. And I think that kind of hurt the Klingons because with having Worf on the bridge, having Worf part of the main cast, the Klingons just became integral to the entire TNG era of Star Trek. You couldn't get away from them, period. And I think it almost hurt it a little bit. It took the mystery away from the Klingons. Whereas like the Romulans were still few and far between.
But that's why I like the Tholians.
Yeah,
One
it's the
thing-
same thing, George.
Yeah,
It's
same
the
thing. That's why
Because
we
they're
went with
alien
Tholians
aliens.
and Hidden Frontier.
It makes them. It makes them more. They're the mysterious nature.
They're
about
the
it.
true alien.
Yeah, it makes
1 minute
it-
you're
it
okay
makes
with
it
them, you
more
don't know where you
fun.
stand with them.
You know,
and-
we're just we've been so saturated with Klingons for the last 30 plus years that it's and I love the Klingons. My favorite characters, top 5, are Klingons. Two out of my 5 top characters. I love Worf.
I just like the
and
Tholians.
Martok are my top 5 characters.
I just like the Tholians because of how, they're so alien that no matter when they think they're having good relations with them or not,
Right.
they're not really sure where they stand with them because they're so
Yeah.
different from us.
Right. It's
No.
it's the mystery surrounding
It's
them.
not like you go negotiate
Right.
with them the way you do the Dominion or the Romulans or even the Borg because the Tholians are so alien that you're on their good side one day, but then you encroach their territory by and they treat everybody
Yeah, you don't know what their motivations
they're
are.
like insects protecting their
What their agenda is.
Yeah.
And again, that is, to me, that's really what makes Romulans so fascinating to me too, because we've had very little really deep into the Romulan
in the chat
culture.
room. Anthony disagrees with us. Anthony Seon. He says that they were and I get Joe's been having a fight with him in there too. He says Romulans have been overused too. And Joe, what's your answer to that?
I said I think they've been underused. We saw the Remans in Nemesis, but Romulans have never played a central arc in any series or in any movie.
Yep.
Except for Nero in 2009,
but that's he was basically like an independent contractor.
He's basically like
yeah, you're right.
He literally was an independent contractor.
No, he was.
He literally was.
He was a miner.
That was not a military vessel. It was a mining vessel.
He was a mining vessel that got modified by Tal Sheriff Borg Tech. I know. But anyways,
and seriously, that'll get your union card pulled right there.
I think Joe's absolutely right, because it's not that we didn't see Romulans often. It's just that they were always tangential. Like the closest you got was, in the whole Klingon succession thing where they were secretly backing the Duras. And so they've always been
some
sort
stuff
of
in the Dominion War.
Well, but
some stuff. And the stuff that they did was fantastic.
The frenemy status. And
the most insight we ever
That's
got
one of the reasons DS9 is the best Star Trek series.
Yep. The most insight that we ever got into Romulan culture was in the 2-part unification arc. That's the most insight we've ever had into their culture.
I hope
and everything else has been mystery, and which has been fun. And boy, they did have some. They were juicy in DS9 too. They were
they were great
just on the periphery. Oh, yes.
Just enough to be interesting, and that's why that's why I want to see more. Now that Romulus is destroyed, there's stuff. There's like meaty stuff dramatically for them to explore. So
Dustin was trying to pipe up and say something real quick. I just want to see before he forgets.
Justin.
I hope they touch base on season 3 of Discovery. We get to see more Romulans and possibly more Stolians. I would hope they would take this chance to kind of flesh them out a little bit more.
Well, we didn't see Romulans in the trailer. So
I would love to see a relationship.
There's a lot of stuff that we didn't see in the trailers for season 1 or 2. That ended up in the
they can only show you so much.
And traditionally with Star Trek, how this works is when you see the trailers, all you're seeing are scenes from the first episode.
I would love to see whether there's any
the first couple episodes.
Right. I would love to see if there's any kind of connection between the Shellyak and the Tholians.
Okay, the Shellyak are like...
I know they were a one-shot, but...
So they're a one-shot peripheral thing.
They kind of reminded me of the Excalbians from the TOS era, the rock guys.
I want to see Gary 7 come back.
I would love to see that.
I would like that.
Yep, that's a show
that would be good.
That was a spin-off that the comics did.
I want nothing to do with the Shellacians, as I like to call them.
No, I would like, you know what? Kirk and Spock's, I was thinking about this the other day. It's weird that you brought that up. At the very end of it ever became the spin-off for the Gary 7 thing. Kirk and Spock were handing it over to be their own spin-off series. Yeah, when they said that in the future they knew the adventures him and Miss Lincoln were going to go on, and they were like, "Oh, that's cool. So we got adventures to go." And they did do it in the comics, but of course, whatever. But it would have been nice to see.
No, it was a great concept. I think it was too far ahead of its time. I think if they had pulled that during the TNG era, tried to backdoor pilot for that, I think you would have seen a series. It was just a little bit too far ahead of its time in the late 60s. But here's the thing, and again, not canon, but a great adaptation are the Greg Cox Khan books, which
I've read those.
They
explain that the Clone Wars actually. Not the Clone Wars. The eugenics wars.
Yeah.
Actually did happen.
There are genetics involved in both of these wars. You're good.
Secret. Right. But they all happened in secret. Like the regular population didn't realize that all this stuff was going on under the, behind.
Yeah, right. The eugenics wars, all these
I
conflicts
thought was a pretty gutsy, cool way of doing that.
Right. It was all these conflicts that were global conflicts that really happened were actually part of the broader eugenics war.
Right.
And the entire thing was the backdrop of Gary Seven and Roberta Lincoln throughout the whole thing. It was the whole series is Assignment Earth, but with Khan and the eugenics wars. And it's really well done. It's a fun way to have approached it. Again, not canon, but just it's like people talk about what if you could see like what books you would like to see become canon. That's at the top of my list. The Andrew Robinson novel, A Stitch in Time, the Garrick backstory. That's at the top of my list. Love that one. So I mean, it's things like that it's really good reading and an idea of what you could have seen from potential Assignment Earth series.
Agreed.
I really have a real quick trivia, if you don't mind. A lot of people do. This was mentioned on a couple of documentaries. At the same time that Gary Seven's episode Assignment Earth came out, and Gary was using the servo, the sonic screwdriver on Doctor Who in the I think it was Water of the Deep. It was a Patrick Troughton Second Doctor episode. The sonic screwdriver got introduced almost the same month as that episode, and they both served almost a similar purpose. And so there was like a lot of people, like the studios were actually trying to figure out if somebody like leaked info or if they were copying from one another. But it turned out the productions happened as coincidentally. And Anas team, pay attention to this. This is a classic example of how someone can come up with a similar idea, and it actually wasn't someone saying, I'm going to copy your tardigrade, because in this case, the servo and the sonic screwdriver just so happened, it was proven in this documentary.
Yeah, it's not a far leap to imagine.
It's not. It's a universal
something this size and shape can be used to do things.
Right,
exactly. I know someone was going to... No, but seriously, they were very similar, and people were comparing the examples. But as it turned out, A Fury from the Deep, that was the episode. But either way, the point is that there was no way, production-wise, based on when both episodes got released and how long it takes to make it, that they could have actually said, I saw that episode over in America.
And just like the timelines in the Anas Abdeen lawsuit don't match up.
I thought it was worth mentioning because we were talking about the Gary 7 episode, and
it's worth mentioning because
bring it back to short treks.
Yes,
for just a moment.
brings us back to short treks.
The trailers at the end for the next two.
Yeah. Mention it, Ross. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Well, I forget the title of the first one, but with the repair drone.
Ephraim and Dot. Ephraim and Dot?
It's Ephraim and Dot.
I gotta say, just looking at these brief couple seconds trailers, the animation and art style is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know a few people are kind of turned off by it, and they think it's look, Star Wars has overtaken Star Trek. But I think it works, and I think it's going to open up a lot of really interesting and creative paths that Star Trek didn't have before.
And Ross, do you know where the name Ephraim came from?
No, I don't.
It wasn't Brian Fuller. It was the name of originally when the tardigrade was going to become an actual crew member on Discovery.
It was one of the abandoned storylines from Brian Fuller. Yeah. P.S. Our friend Robert Meyer Burnett, in commenting on this, I think it was today on Twitter, called it yet another instance of Star Trek pillaging Brian Fuller's work, which is, I'm sorry, RMB.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
God,
he developed this for CBS. CBS owns all of that.
Yes.
The idea that somehow CBS is stealing something from the guy they asked to create, I'm sorry, that's just not pillaging.
Right, that's ridiculous.
And even he has said the reason they didn't do it was because it would have been too expensive to have to, do CGI for an important, central character that he was supposed to be a bridge character. So I think it's a great compromise. It harkens back to Brian Fuller's original vision, and then gives it a new shine with it being animated.
So it was supposed to be a tardigrade bridge character, is what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Named Ephraim.
Ephraim.
I'm just imagining that.
Thank God they didn't do
this and like. All of his dialogue is like,
Well, he probably would have had a communicator device on his side or some shit. I don't know.
God.
But you know what?
yeah, that would have been nuts.
They
and
had a Horta
makeup too.
They had a Horta crew member in the DC Comics run of the TMP. I call it the red shirt jacket TMP era of Star Trek. So anything can happen if you.
Well, there was also one on Vanguard.
Oh, really?
Since we're talking,
And I wrote one in Hidden Frontier.
Oh, did you? Never did it? Was it in there?
that tardigrade.
No,
Horta.
The Horta.
Oh.
Anthony says I can't pronounce his last name. Anthony said I don't want to butcher it. Well, you're Irish, Sean. How do you pronounce that?
Seon? It's an Italian name, so I don't know why.
I thought it was Irish.
Looking at me, Anthony Seon.
Whatever. The point is, no offense, Anthony, I'm just joking. He says 2 animated short tracks and then the Picard prequel short track. That's a good point because the 2 animated short tracks are coming out the same day.
Same day.
Same day.
Awesome.
Two at the same time?
Yep.
In December.
Yep.
When you go to look.
The Picard in January, and then,
Yeah. On the 12th, you're when it drops that morning, you're going to see 2 choices to watch. That's how it's going to work.
And the second one, the girl who made the stars.
I have no idea what's going on that one.
Well,
I'm really curious.
Everything I've heard so far says it
girl
harkens
who made
back
the stars.
to.
Yeah, we don't know.
It harkens back to Michael Burnham's monologue at the beginning of season 2 about an African folktale about a young girl who takes a handful of ashes, throws it into the sky, and creates the stars.
You got a good memory.
Yeah. No, that's true. It does refer to that.
And speaking of Discovery season 2, I got it. I don't know if you guys have gotten the Blu-ray set yet, but
Not yet.
I got mine the other day, and it is packed full of behind-the-scenes goodness. Oh my god! And what I hate about this,
I'm coming to it for a play date at your house, Sean.
It's fucking on that 82-inch TV I got. That's going to be in that new house. So yeah, it's. What I hate about special features and all these discs now, I don't know why they do this. They scatter them around the discs. It's such a pain in the ass. Like, just put them on one disc like you used to. But anyway, they have I watched the first 2 special features on this, and it was production design and the props. And they're like, these are good long specials here. And oh my God, they're fucking amazing how they're making how the production, the set design, and the props. This is like I'm a junkie for special features in Star Trek Blu-rays and DVDs and things like that. And these are some of the best I've ever seen. They're so in depth and detailed in showing you how the magic is made. And I guess I didn't realize this, but that set that they use up in Pinewood up in Toronto, that's the biggest set in North America. That's the biggest studio in North America. Yeah. It is massive what they have done. And they have taken what they did with Discovery. They've actually built on the set from the first year and actually made it bigger. When I say Discovery, the ship set itself, they've actually built on it and made it bigger from what it was before. And it's all interconnected to actually have some kind of semblance of order of an actual ship, and it's glorious. I highly recommend. Like I said, I'm on disc 1 with these special features because
I'm coming over, Sean. I'm coming over.
Oh, sorry to backtrack one more time, but I don't know if we mentioned it. The set for the Enterprise engine room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
No, good call.
Almost all CGI.
Good call.
I know it was all CGI. Yeah. It was still amazing.
It was still amazing. It was pretty cool.
I have no problem with it. I'm wondering how it's so. I mean, it's one thing to I don't know.
You have to remember
different.
The canonistas. So the canonistas are like, that's not what what it looked like and it's in the saucer session.
And we're still 10 years before what we saw to worry about.
That's not the point. The point
what, folks? Guess what?
There were always 2 engineering sections. One in the primary hall and one in the engineering hall.
That's true.
And
they had decks.
We only ever saw the one. That doesn't mean there wasn't the other. And
the motion picture made that clear. The motion picture made that clear.
Haven't we made this? Haven't we had to explain this many times?
Yes, we have.
Probably. We probably will again.
Any franchise, it doesn't matter what it is, just because you didn't see it already doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Like the toilets.
And guess what it doesn't look like, folks? It doesn't look like a Budweiser brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, you went there.
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to watch it again now.
Went there.
I was thinking Guinness Brewery, but
Okay, so I have a question for you
the
guys.
Kelvin Enterprise engine room was filmed in a Budweiser brewery.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
You know that?
No.
Oh yeah. It's a
You would think
Budweiser
I would
brewery.
know that, but I don't.
Those were grain vats Kirk was running through.
Ways they saved money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, what were you going to ask, Carlos? You said you had a question for us.
No.
Didn't you just now?
Have we lost Carlos?
So here's a copy of the Enterprise as we see it. What? No, it should be showing up. Am I back yet?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So there's the Enterprise as it appears in Ephraim and Dot.
I'm getting a delay. I'm not seeing it yet.
We're good now.
Oh no, it shows up.
Oh no, I see it. Sorry, I was.
You see it now? Okay.
Okay.
So so here's my question for you: is this TOS or is it the Enterprise as we see in Discovery?
It's Discovery.
Enterprise and Discovery.
Look at the
They're connecting.
It's clear. It's clear. You can look at if you take a look at the impulse deck right here, clear Discovery. And if you look at the fins on the cells, and of course you can't see where I'm pointing. And you look at the buster collectors up front and the little point thing sticking over them.
Just look at the angle of the.
No, not just that. Look at the lines.
It's wider set.
The lines on the saucer, on the bottom of the saucer, that's Discovery.
Yep.
No, they had lines on. They had lines.
Also,
I thought it was all solid on TOS.
You've got visible phaser and torpedoes on the underside of the hull, which were not on the TOS Enterprise. Joe, are you drawing dicks?
I'm glad the screen capture function doesn't work through XSplits, so the people on Twitch see this.
Oh my God!
Yeah, sorry, Twitch people. Anyway, thank you for your.
I just got. If you want me to pull it out and set that up wrong,
Sean. If we ever tell you can pull it out, we're doing something wrong.
If you want me to go get it, I literally just got the Eagle Moss extra large edition of.
Oh.
So hold on 1 second. I will go get it. We can compare. Hold on.
Joe's having too much fun.
I'm putting happy hearts in mine.
Oh, you are? Wait, how are you both drawing on this? I don't see my option.
Dude, you go to annotate, press on it, and then you get all your different annotation options.
I see.
Have it in the window. There's a little thing there. It says participants.
I see it.
Share, pause share, annotate, remote control. Those, you click on annotate, and that's where you get access to the drawing stuff. So I'm just going to be making more hearts in space while we wait for Sean to come back and with his Eagle Moss. Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing your expertise in that, folks. It was very interesting. Part of the reason I was wondering is because I didn't see it as big as this actually earlier in the day when this came out. And I thought that it was an interesting angle because you couldn't see as clearly some of the very obvious differences that there are between the TOS and the Discovery Enterprise. So, who did that? Justin, did you do the X's over my hearts? Or was that Joe, you dastardly?
I didn't do that.
Was that you? Justin, was that you?
Oh,
you bastard.
Okay.
All right. Lay it on us, Sean.
Okay, so here's what we got going on. And by the way, my dish is a little bent here, so they're sending me a brand new
I'll bet it is.
That's what she said.
Okay, so that's what we got right here. So if I can angle it up, you can get a look at the nacelles and everything.
Wow.
So that's our this is the same. This is that ship, all right.
The biggest tell for me is that the Discovery Enterprise is a bit squatter, and the nacelle struts are a bit wider.
That's correct. True. Yeah, right. Because the original series, the saucer section is parallel with the nacelles.
Yeah,
Right. So they're a little bit higher on this one. So that's all right. This is the one. I love
that's awesome. I love it.
I want one.
Like I said, play date, Sean's house.
I'm telling you, I got lots of cool toys.
He really does. He was naming several of them early this week. I'm like, I want to go to your house.
So the short tracks worth staying subscribed for people that have to choose all their streaming options and paying all the money until something comes out like a full series.
Well, look,
is this good content filler though? With this,
these things are short. They're less than 15 minutes.
They are, but is it worth to continue paying?
Well, it depends on the person. It's worth it to me because I don't want to wait. But if $6 a month is too much for you, then yeah, wait until January when Picard debuts and you can see all of them at once. So there are many options here for you if money is an issue for you.
For me, it's not even about the short tracks. It's about the fact because after the first season of Discovery, I dropped it until the second season came out. And because I love the second season so much, I actually rewarded CBS by maintaining my subscription all the way through.
Wow.
That's my theory on this. You earned it. Is what it comes down to. I have no problem saying it. So.
Interesting.
It's like Disney Plus. Huh?
Yeah.
Anthony says,
have we talked about Disney Plus in general?
Anthony says there's the Strange Angel show, Jack Parsons series, and Brenda says I watch other shows on Alexa, so I keep it. All right, that's fair.
Same with me. I'm a huge fan of.
I like Young Sheldon. I love it. In fact,
which one?
Young Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, actually I do too, but it's on regular CBS too broadcast.
Right,
so
is it? I didn't know
there's
that.
also the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The Good Fight is what I love.
The Good Fight, Carlson, like, yep.
Yeah, love.
Carlos got me onto that. Yep, that's a good show.
Huh. So there are other things on.
And of course, if you love police procedurals,
there's others, right? But there's.
Well, I mean, apart from those, because I don't, but they're coming up with a lot of all access exclusive new series that are much more like sci-fi and genre stuff than what you see on the broadcast network.
Yeah, and
it appeals to two completely different demographics,
right?
As well, they should.
And there's like 2 or 3 series on there right now that are sci-fi. I haven't had a chance to look at yet, but they look really interesting on there.
Strange Angel looks really good.
Yeah, exactly. That's one right there. Yeah, right. Yep. So,
and there's more coming. I like Tell Me a Story. That's sort of a order.
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah. One of the main actors in it was in my film. My most.
Yay! So speaking of Disney Plus, you want to talk about Disney Plus? George?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's a good idea. Let's talk about everybody. That's a good point. Let me just say that when Disney Plus first came out, a lot of people were, of course, looking forward to The Mandalorian. But other than that, I have heard nothing but praise from everybody in general. With the
then you're not reading the websites I'm reading.
Probably not. But all the feeds I see. What do you think?
It has a continuing huge technological problems.
I haven't experienced that.
Glitches. I've had shows stop in the middle and then restart completely.
Oh, I did experience that with The Force Awakens.
That just waits forever before it starts. I've had to I've had to cancel out of the app, come back in.
I was watching Force Awakens and it happened to me. You're right.
So there's been a lot of technical problems that have played its
George, that wasn't a technical glitch with The Force Awakens. What happened is that you got halfway through The Force Awakens and then realized you were just watching A New Hope again. That's what
No, I got to the part where Finn and Poe were just gotten off.
I like The Force Awakens, but come on.
I just got to the part.
You're right.
No. I got to the part where Finn and Poe and Finn had just got bromanced and gotten the TIE fighter and took off, and they were getting ready to shoot the other guns, and then it said there's been a technical glitch or whatever.
and then it said
Awakens did a technical glitch itself.
I like The Force Awakens. I don't care.
I don't like it.
I don't care if it was like a copy of.
I fell asleep.
My girlfriend liked it. She watched it with me in the movie theater.
So
I had the issue I have is I haven't had any issue on the Xbox One.
In terms of content,
whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're Skyping quite a bit there,
Carlos. Skynetting quite a bit is what he's doing.
Yeah.
On Disney
Carlos.
Skynetting.
Carlos
is frozen like Kylo Ren did to everybody.
There he
is.
He's
back.
Back in business.
So, Sean, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to, my glitch, I've had one glitch, and it's a very weird glitch. It only happened because I have multiple platforms that it's available on, but I was trying to use it on my Samsung smart TV, and it's only like 2 years old, that one. And I've got what would happen. It was only in The Mandalorian it was happening where it would start up and the audio would be out of sync, like noticeably out of sync.
Yeah, just by a hair of a second.
Oh, I didn't know
No. This is bad. This is like by 2 to 3 seconds. And
wow, no, for me it was just a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was real bad.
And it wasn't just The Mandalorian. I was watching a National Geographic thing on there, and I think it was called The Origins of Human or Human Origins.
Oh, really?
Anyway, the very enthusiastic host who punched a lot of words, he punched with like about a third of a second behind the actual punch. So so it's across the platform.
Because what happened is like the kids had put in Lady and the Tramp first. By the way, didn't realize that wasn't coming out in the theaters. It was going right to Disney Plus. That was a treat. That was a surprise. So like the kids had that on first, and then there was no problem.
The live action remake.
Live action exactly with CG. But then we went to Mandalorian, and it kept happening. But here's the thing: on the Xbox One, I've had not a glitch a single time. It's been perfect.
The platform is obviously the key.
I think because here's the thing: my boys have Roku's in their rooms, and that app that they're using on the Roku is the same app that they're using on the Samsung Smart TV. It's a different app. The way you log in is differently. The way you connect, it's just. I'm guessing that different platforms have just better apps is what it comes down to.
It may be that. I mean, it also could be that, the Xbox may be a smaller platform in terms of viewers. And so they may have estimated correctly. If they have a thing where they have specific servers set aside for each platform.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That, because they estimated correctly for the Xbox platform, that's why there's no glitches.
Right.
Whereas for everybody else, they underestimated. And I mean, 10 million subscribers in one day is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Look how long it's taken.
Carlos froze again.
I think Microsoft also asked for a degree of quality control.
What's that?
I think Xbox also asked for a degree of quality control for
from their vendors.
Their
they do, they did, and that wasn't always the case either. They started getting like Apple with that.
I think the reason Carlos is starting to freeze so much is because the longer the broadband's been. We should probably start wrapping up a little bit because we streamed a long time. That's probably part of it. Let's talk about.
That has anything to do with it, but we are at 2 hours, so
we're over. It's fine though because we have a split up show.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Real quick, we'll do one. What are we watching each? Not 4, not 5, not 6. We'll start with Sean. What are you watching? Pick one.
Don't come back to me. I got to think about it.
All
Don't
right.
Put me on the spot. I didn't realize we were closing out here.
Ross, what are you watching?
Charlie's Colorform City.
What? Is that a kid show?
It's the show my son's watching.
All right.
It's a cute little show that's a lot more intelligently written than I thought.
I know you don't see.
It illustrates story progression quite well as integrating shape recognition and.
I could use some of that.
It's a kid's show. Give me a break.
All right.
The only thing that keeps him calm.
Hey, I've been there, dude. It's. Hey, look, I can tell you every episode of the Wonder Pets. Okay.
I'll take it over Paw Patrol any day.
Yep.
For me, it's been I just for some reason keep going back and watching random seasons of The Sopranos. I don't know what it is that keeps.
It's okay, man.
They draw me in, then they pull me back in. I can't help it. It's weird, especially the episodes where they eat. There's something about the episodes of Sopranos where they eat food. They have entire YouTube videos that are 40 minutes long about all the times you see them eating.
Supercuts.
Yeah, supercuts of like the Sopranos guys eating.
There's a supercut of every death in the Sopranos too. It's not really.
Yeah, but
it's not really as exciting as
I don't know what it is.
Food is an important part of the show.
It is.
I mean, it's Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my mouth watering sometimes watching them eat.
You know if you've ever just ordered the pizza because you've watched The Sopranos, that
what makes me laugh is when Artie is trying to make himself seem like he's a professional gourmet cook, and he's like, "You got to try these meatballs. They've been marinating 15 years," and he's so full of shit. and it's like so funny. He tries to sell the food to everybody,
Right.
and he's like so full of shit. That's what makes me laugh. It's like,
he really did always come off as completely full
oh my
of
god,
shit.
he's like, oh, these Musso Russells,
God,
they
he
go with the contrast, and the lady's like, just fucking give me some of
he's
the spaghetti or whatever, you know.
Artie's a typical hanger on, you know. He's just on the periphery. He wants to be a big shot, but he
makes me laugh though. But I like anything with food and gangster stuff.
I can tell you what I'm watching. I just thought about this. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so actually, I just finished Jack Ryan season 2, and
I need to start that.
It's so much better than season 1. It's unreal. I like so
season
much.
1.
I did like season 1 too, but it's leaps and bounds ahead of season 1. It's kind of like Carlos. You know how we like Star Trek Discovery season 1. This is like Star Trek Discovery season 2. Is basically the improvement level. Is
Sean, while we're on you still, I got to ask you a quick question since you haven't been on the show in a while. Have you been watching The Watchmen?
No, I haven't had a chance. I have not had a chance. It's in my queue.
Who watches The Watchmen?
But
we do.
I will say this. I just realized this when I went to watch Short Trek tonight because I have my CBS All Access subscription through Amazon. I realized as soon as I fired up the Amazon tonight, Amazon Prime, season 4 of The Man in the High Castle just dropped today. And
I have been wanting to watch that. I've only seen the first season.
I'm watching.
Got to watch that tonight.
I understand everything that's going on. I look for spoilers, but I just haven't watched through all the seasons.
It's their final season.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's good.
So
I'm really curious as to where they're going with it.
I love this show. You know, I think I've told you guys that I was a casting.
Are they beyond the book, or are they just cut up with the rest?
No, I didn't know that. What's Carl? You were a casting assistant on the pilot?
No.
For the pilot, it was shot here in Seattle, and they used the same casting director I do, and she needed help actually in the room for callbacks with the director and with David Semmel, who P.S. also directed the pilot for Discovery. That's his thing. He directs pilots. That's his role.
It sucks that like 50% of what you just said was Skype, but it did pick up everything after.
Oh, okay, caught it. Good. Yeah, sorry about that.
It was just you were frozen, but it was still, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so I've been a big fan of the show since.
Cool.
I think
I love this. I love this shit. That's why I like The Watchmen and Carnival Row. That I love these alternate history things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me too. I think they're great.
What could have happened?
It's the genre of sci-fi that really has been relatively untapped as far as the series are concerned.
It's like a bit of Sliders.
And over the past few years, it's starting to get more attention. It is so much fun. I love these alternate history stuff.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yep.
Oh, which I haven't watched yet.
I'm aware of the original movie. I just haven't really watched the series. I'm not a big fan of that actress. She's in that upcoming Invisible Man, the girl from Mad Men. I forget her name. She does something about her face. I don't know. Something about her. She's a good actress, but
Joe, you're such a misogynist.
Watch the movie.
The original movie. I liked.
Do not watch it.
I couldn't say stop fast enough.
We just lost our sponsors.
My mouth was full of ice. I could not say stop fast enough because I knew exactly where he was going with that.
Well, remember when I talked about it during Mad Men? I said there's something about Peggy's face.
Joe.
It's the expressions. It's the expressions.
George, stop while you're ahead.
No, it's her expressions, not her. Hold on, let me make this clear. It's not.
I don't think we want it to be clear.
It's
we want to move on.
The expressions that she gives. Creepy expressions. It's not her appearance. Let me make that clear. That's not what I'm saying. It's the way the actress does these emoji face expressions that it's just weird. Anyways, hey, I can have an opinion.
No, God, please, no.
It'd be like an actor going.
No.
Anyways,
please stop, George.
And what
is the no button?
I think people are misinterpreting what I mean by that. Anyways,
I'm just. How could you not? I mean, how could you not misinterpret that? I mean,
I don't know. We'll call it Skype problems.
It's everyone else. It's everyone else. Let's miss
everyone else. And hey, you know, Joe, what are you watching?
Like Sean, Man in the High Castle is a great show that people watch that nobody talks about.
Yeah,
it's true.
That is true.
Well, that's one of the reasons, folks, why it only has one season to go. It didn't quite get the traction. Right. It has fans who are loyal to it. But
the first two seasons got hyped quite a bit, but
not really. Not if you go back.
I kept seeing it on my feed, but
it had a very strong. It had a very strong promotion marketing campaign at the very beginning for the pilot. But since then, it's chugged along, and it's been a really great show. But it's not something people talk about.
But what I will say about this with Amazon, because had this been on Netflix with the same results, you would have gotten 2 seasons and not 4. Yeah. So good for them for sticking out.
Amazon tends to stick with their shows pretty well.
Yes, they do.
So far.
Just look at
it won't be long. The Boys is coming soon, number 2.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Well, we've talked about this a little bit before about why, because Amazon Studios doesn't have to earn its own keep. It can afford to lose a little.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Plus, they need to build out their library of content. They're not CBS. They're not Disney. They don't have a lot of content.
Yeah, and the reality of it is that they're here they're giving you these movies and these shows, but that's to get you in the door to buy shit from them. That's what it's there for. And so
as long as it's doing that, they're happy.
Absolutely.
Justin, what are you watching?
I'm just watching it hit a bunch of different stuff. I'm just going through Disney Plus, just trying to, just rewatch some old classics, and it's been fun.
Isn't it nice being able to? I think it's great being able to just flip on Disney Plus and just throw on a Star Wars movie. It's just so nice. I mean, I can do it look, I've got a media server. I can do it.
Except for maybe the controversial Han shot first redo.
I've resigned myself to it at this point. I don't even care.
Yes.
By the way, it turns out Disney didn't do that. George Lucas did it, and he was getting ready to release it.
George Lucas did it.
He did. He was going to release it for.
Lucas did it.
Well, he was going to release that version before he sold Disney, and they kept it like when they acquired it, and then they decided we're going to use it now.
It's
his newest version.
But
I don't think anyone really thought it was Disney itself.
I did. I heard it was Disney.
I didn't. It was very clearly a George Lucas thing.
Yeah, and has anyone
I didn't see when he could have done it.
Isn't censoring anything that's on Disney Plus. There's a scene, not that I've heard so far. There's a scene in Gargoyles, one of my favorite shows from as a kid, where one of the monsters gets a hold of a gun, plays with it, and accidentally shoots the detective Elisa Maza, and they didn't censor that at all. Although it was censored on networks.
Right, but you know what Disney is doing? Is they're doing that thing, which I have no problem with. I just think it's funny in some ways. They're doing that thing like when you show a movie like Dumbo or something that this movie or whatever is culturally outdated.
Also, they're doing the same thing that Warner Brothers did.
Not as well as Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Warner Brothers is very specific about this is racist content. And
culturally
outdated. May contain culturally outdated.
So does that mean they're going to release Song of the South?
You know what, Carlos? I'm not going to get into this too much, but you know why I don't have a problem with that? I was watching old Our Gang, Little Rascal things.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it.
No, what I'm just saying is like sometimes like nowadays people might see buckwheat and they will say that actually it was actually ahead of its time as trying to make the colored kids and the white kids and not.
He said it. He said it, Carlos. He said it.
No, what I'm saying is,
George.
But they might see it as culturally outdated because of the stereotype of how they portray
George,
him.
I think you're culturally outdated.
Oh my God!
People talk about buckwheat.
George, nobody calls black people African Americans.
Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Colored people.
Yeah, you did.
See, that's my bad.
Not done anymore.
I am a culturally outdated.
That's what I just said.
Good to be back.
I am a culturally.
Guys, we just lost all of our Patreons.
We didn't have any in the first place.
We're negatives now.
We're never going to get any. We're never going to get any now.
Anyways.
You can't air this.
It's too late now.
It's fine. It's fine. It's George. It's his brand.
We're just giving you a hard time.
I made a boo-boo in the one word. I'm sorry. I'll own it. I'll own it and learn from it.
Very good.
Teach me on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter. Thank God I don't go on Twitter. I'd be dead. Anyways, okay, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode, but where can we find you, Carlos?
Well, you didn't ask me what I was watching.
Oh yeah, what are you watching? I thought I did.
I actually, other than Disney Plus stuff, I have not. Where I am watching, and I'll admit this, I am watching High School Musical, the series, if only for the fact that it has 3 colons in it in the title, and it's kind of meta. It's kind of meta fun, you know. So I'm watching that as well, and looking at a lot of National Geographic stuff in there. Haven't watched any of the Pixar's. Haven't watched any of the Star Wars movies yet. Plan on catching up on Rebels, and then just continuing my Expanse rewatch, getting ready for its 4th season, 3rd season, 4th season, 5th season. No,
I thought it was 5th.
No, they're working on the 5th right now.
You're confusing me.
Yeah, I think it's 4th season. Which
it's the 4th season.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which they've already Amazon's already renewed it for a 5th season. Yay!
Right.
The 19th maybe. So I want to get caught up in time for that. So that's what I better.
I letting you Justin's thing. Send all complaints on George to the Super Geeks inbox.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I wanted to point this out too, that I think in my experience so far with watching the Star Wars movies on at least the Xbox One app for Disney Plus, this is the best they've ever looked. I mean, this is not the same transfer that was done on the Blu-rays. These look amazing, and I thought the Blu-rays look great. This looks really, really good. So if you guys haven't had a chance to watch,
well, they're
the original
4D,
trilogy,
aren't they?
What's that?
Aren't they in 4D?
You mean 4K?
4K. I mean 4K.
I am. If that's the case, I was not aware of it. That's
these Star Wars movies are in 4K.
Disney is broadcasting. Yeah, they're in 4K.
Well, that would make sense why they look so damn good then.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of their big pitches that they gave about that. Excuse me.
Yeah, because I was under the impression that they were releasing the set shortly, or the entire franchise in 4K. Or no, actually, they're doing it after. No, we talked about this. They're doing it after what's the last one called? Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker. They're releasing all the films after
Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
That's the new one. That's come out. Yeah.
Right. They're going to release the set when that comes out on home video.
They still haven't released 4K. Last Jedi yet, but who knows? They got everything
on 4K.
They haven't got it on Disney Plus at all. Last Jedi.
Okay.
I thought I saw it on there.
I thought they had them all, but
the only one of the new trilogy they have is The Force Awakens, unless they edit it today. I haven't looked today. I mean,
I didn't swear I saw it.
Nope. Well, you can go look, but I'm just telling you, I didn't see it. I own it on Amazon, so it doesn't matter to me. But if it's going to be on 4K, I want to see it.
I have the 4K of that, but okay, I know new episodes available. Dude, what's wrong with these people? I've already seen your new episode of Mandalorian. Stop trying to make me watch it again.
I know, Sean. Let's wrap up a little bit. Carlos, where can we?
I am on Twitter at C Pedraza and at Axe Monitor, at the Axe Monitor Facebook group on Facebook, clearly, and also at axmonitor.com.
Ross?
Twitch.tv/live_love_play. If you enjoy turn-based tactics games, real-time strategy, and open-world adventure, I'm your guy.
All right. And Joe?
I mean, lightyearmodels.com.
Nice.
Ooh.
Sean, what about you?
Okay, here's the thing. I figured out exactly why The Last Jedi is not on Disney Plus.
All right.
And neither is Solo, because they're on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
So they're going to wait.
For what?
That's why we don't have Indiana Jones movies on this either.
No, they're going to wait till the contract thing's up. Okay.
Exactly.
It's on. Right. It's coming to Disney Plus December 26th.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay, so here's the deal. All right, so I'm like a Mandalorian now on Facebook. I'm just randomly popping up in Super Geeks and in Axe Monitor because I'm just really busy right now. But
he's hunting down alien babies and trying to get a bounty.
Yeah.
Killing Jawas and
Dude, we just closed on our house today, and now we own 2 that are 4 houses apart from each other, and it's because we didn't sell this one first, so. So
wow,
yeah, it's madness, but I'm just hectic. It's just I got hectic things going on. So I try to I cannot leave you guys hanging though on the Mandalorian show. I just cannot do it. We have to discuss this.
Hashtag priorities.
That's right.
Damn right. Exactly.
All right. And then Ross already told us where you can find you, me, and you, and everybody said, except me. Well, you can find me here. You can find us here at Super Geeks and on YouTube, and that'll be linked. But yeah, so in the future, we've got, I want to remind everybody, December, and Sean, you're going to be there, right? Because you're the one that organized this. December 8th.
Yeah.
You've got Larry Nemechek. Said it right the first time. Larry Nemechek, Chris Duham, Kitwalski, Dave Galanter, Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Dayton Ward.
And Dayton Ward. Dayton Ward. For Star Trek, it's a Sunday afternoon, 11 Pacific time. And it will be the Star Trek The Motion Picture anniversary, 50th anniversary special. 40th anniversary. I knew that. I was testing you. So we will keep reminding everybody when the time comes. It'll be a great show. And, so I want to thank everyone for joining us for this.
We're just going to be gushing with Star Trek that day.
We're going to be gushing.
Looking forward to it.
Peace be with you, my people.
Peace.
Bye.